It all started on a cold morning in Atlanta. Jamal Carter had just parked his car outside the grand glass doors of the Crescent City Bank. He straightened his tie, smoothed out his navy blue blazer, and took a deep breath before stepping out. Today was supposed to be the beginning of something great. He had spent months preparing for this meeting, gathering documents, making sure his business plan was solid. All he needed now was the bank's approval for a loan. Jamal had worked hard to build his small real estate business from the ground up. He started with nothing, just a dream and determination. Over the years, he had saved enough to expand, but he needed funding to take things to the next level. He was excited, optimistic even. But as soon as he walked up to the bank's entrance, that optimism was shattered. A security guard, a tall man with a stiff posture and a look of authority, stepped in front of him. "Excuse me, sir, can I help you?" Jamal smiled politely. "Yes, I have an appointment with Mr. Reynolds, the loan officer." The guard looked him up and down, his eyes filled with suspicion. "Are you sure?" Jamal furrowed his brow. "Yes, I scheduled it 2 weeks ago. My name is Jamal Carter." The guard shook his head. "Hold on a second." He turned and spoke into his radio. A moment later, a bank employee, a middle-aged white man in a crisp suit, came to the entrance. He looked at Jamal, then at the security guard, then back at Jamal. "I'm sorry, sir," the man said. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. This is a private institution, and we reserve the right to refuse service." Jamal's stomach tightened. "Excuse me? I have an appointment." The man sighed as if speaking to a child. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." Jamal felt heat rise to his face. "I have all my paperwork. I was invited here. Why are you refusing me?" The guard stepped forward, his hand resting near his belt, where a gun was holstered. "Sir, I suggest you walk away before this becomes a problem." Jamal clenched his fists. He could argue, demand answers, cause a scene. But he knew how this would end. Black men standing up for themselves in situations like this rarely got the benefit of the doubt. So he took a step back, swallowed his pride, and walked away. As he sat in his car, gripping the steering wheel, anger and humiliation twisted in his chest. He had worked too hard for this. He had done everything right. And yet the moment they saw his skin, they dismissed him. They didn't see a businessman. They saw a threat. That night, Jamal couldn't sleep. He kept replaying the moment over and over in his head. The humiliation, the powerlessness. But then something shifted. He thought about all the times he'd been told no, all the doors slammed in his face. And he thought about the people who looked like him. People who were denied the same opportunities, judged before they even spoke. That's when he made a decision. If they wouldn't let him in, he'd find another way. Jamal spent the next year working harder than ever before. He expanded his real estate business, partnered with other black entrepreneurs, and secured investors who believed in his vision. He researched everything about banking, from regulations to ownership laws. And then he found an opportunity. Crescent City Bank was struggling. The board was looking for potential buyers. It wasn't easy. The process was long and grueling. But Jamal wasn't just doing this for himself anymore. He was doing it for every person who had ever been turned away, who had ever felt like they weren't enough simply because of the color of their skin. A year and a half later, Jamal Carter walked through those same glass doors. But this time, he wasn't looking for a loan. He was there to buy the bank. The same loan officer who had turned him away before looked stunned as Jamal sat across from him, the contract in front of him. "You?" the man stammered. "You're the buyer?" Jamal smiled, calm and collected. "That's right." The irony was thick, but Jamal wasn't here for revenge. He was here to change the game. Over the next few months, Crescent City Bank transformed. Jamal made sure the bank prioritized fair lending practices, ensuring black business owners and families had the opportunities they deserved. He hired people who reflected the community, people who understood the struggles firsthand. He created programs to help first-time homebuyers and small business owners. One afternoon, as he walked through the lobby, he saw a young black man standing nervously near the entrance. He recognized the look on his face, the same uncertainty he had felt that day. Jamal walked over. "Can I help you?" The young man hesitated. "I have an appointment with the loan officer. I'm hoping to start my own business." Jamal smiled warmly. "Come on in, let's talk." And just like that, the cycle was broken. Because Jamal Carter wasn't just denied entry to a bank that day, he changed the future.